Self-built camper van. Now today I will be running in two cables over to the passenger side onto the panel where the bed is going to be, so I can have a 12-volt socket and two USB sockets and a little voltmeter. I'll also be continuing to put some more of the roof up today, and also when I've decided where I'm going to put the two light fittings at the front, I'll also run the cables in for those two fittings as well. What I'm doing at the moment is just undoing these screws. And loosen this part of the roof. I'm going to loosen this part of the roof, and what I'm going to do then is slide the cable underneath it, and then do the screws back up. Right, I've marked the cable at both ends. There's two cables taped together side by side. I've marked the cable both ends on one cable with a little bit of black tape, so I know which cable is which at the fuse box. But we just slide it in like this. Put that cable right to there. And my sockets is going to go somewhere around here. Plenty of cable there, and what we'll do is we'll put the excess, we'll leave that in the cavity. What we'll do now is we'll just do all these screws back up, fix the roof back in place. The screw somewhere. Let's grab there it is. Just coil that up for a minute out the way. In a minute I'll get a pen and I'll write on the cables what they are. Same with this one here for the two lights. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to loosen this panel. Slide the cable down in behind. Now doesn't look perfect up here at the moment, but it'll all be carpeted, and what I do plan on doing up here is putting some kind of little shelf up here, possibly to keep the cups, tea bags, sugar and coffee and so on. It's just an idea I had last night. Exactly the same as putting this this socket in here. It was just an idea I had last night. I'll just grab it a minute from the front of the van and show you. Now, this is what I'm fitting. I've got two of these. It's two USB sockets, and then on this side is the 12 volt. So what I'm going to do now is just going to drill a hole to bring the two cables through. Just check in behind, make sure that I'm actually going to get the sockets in. Yeah. So I'm going to fit them about here. Yeah, somewhere around here. There's a hole there for now. It's big enough to get the cables through, and what I will do is I'll cut it out with a knife later on when I'm ready. What we'll do now is we just screw those screws back in. Right, that's that screwed in, and the cables are now in for the socket and the two USB. Now is we're just going to measure the roof, measure for the sheet of ply that I'm going to put up here. (137 centimeters) by 57 centimeters. Check this side. Yep, 57 centimeters. So 137 by 57 centimeters is the size of the piece of ply that I need to cut out. I've got my piece of ply all marked up and cut out now. Had to start a fresh sheet of ply. Right. Now I've got the board cut out, I need to thin out some of this insulation on the roof, as I've put far too much up here, and then we'll be able to start fitting the ply and mark up the light fittings and drill out the holes for the cables, and then we'll run the cables across to the other cables and mark what we're doing now is we're just thinning out the insulation that's on the roof. Right, that's the insulation thinned out a little bit, mainly to thin it out a little bit more. Now with the bit of ply that I'm putting up on the roof, I've marked out where the lights are going to go, and I've already put the wires in, as I think it would be easier to do it this way than struggle like I did with the piece. What we're going to do now is we're going to screw this bit of ply up to the roof. It's propped up at the moment with a little bit of wood. That screw snapped. Try another one. Right, at the moment I'm on my way to the builder's merchants. I've run out of self-tappers, so I've got one side of this roof panel up, and at the moment the other side is just propped up with a piece of wood in between the ceiling and the floor. I'm hoping it doesn't fall down on my way to the merchants and back, but that's where we are at the moment. And being a Friday dinner time, the traffic's pretty bad as well. But lots of roadworks around where I live at the moment, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare for the next 9 months. Stupid one-way system they put in while they do some work on a couple of junctions. Absolute nightmare at the moment. Approaching the builder's merchants now. But using Wickes today because it's one of the closest. Right, we've been to the builder's merchants, and we're now on our way back home. Just need to fight through the traffic now to get back home. It's only like about 1.5 miles, but it'll probably take me 20 minutes. Right, it's an update of where we are now. We've got the roof panel up and we've got the cables in and going across onto the driver's side with the other cables ready to be wired up. And also we got these two cables in earlier on. But well happy with how the roof has gone up at the moment so far. Right, just an update now. I've started on the solar panel. I'm not going to use the 4 plastic corners that I've ordered. They cost me £20 and I'm going to send those back when they get here. I'm using the aluminium brackets that came with the solar panel. Now it started raining, so no filming at the moment of the solar panel, but what I've done is I've drilled 4 new holes in the solar panel. I've bolted the 4 aluminium brackets to the solar panel with a bit of silicone in between the bracket and the solar panel just to help seal it. And what I've done is I've drilled 2 holes in each bracket, and I've got the solar panel up on the roof. I've been up with a tape measure. I'm a little bit wet, but we've got it all squared up and where I want it. And I've done 2 pilot holes through each bracket going through the roof of the van, and I'm actually mounting it on the structural supports of the van. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get up on the roof of the van with a bit of silicone underneath the brackets, and I'm going to 2 self tappers in each bracket, so a total of 8 self tappers just to hold it onto the roof. Should be plenty strong enough. Right, what I'm going to do now is put the bubble wrap insulation up on this last panel here. The cables for the solar panel is mounted up here, and the cables for the solar panel are going to come through just here, I expect. Originally it was going to come through up here, but I've mounted the solar panel, I've screwed it down to these supports, and the same up here as well. So for the last piece of insulation I have, I'm just going to just do this little bit of roof. Glue's horrible stuff when it goes on your fingers, and especially when you touch this that plastic insulation after. What we'll do is we'll trim it up afterwards. But so far I've gone through about 4 cans of this adhesive doing the installation. Alright, I might have gone a little bit over the top with it, but at least it's held in place, and for the sake of an extra couple of quid, That's that piece up there now, and what I'm going to do is go and find a knife and trim this up. Right, we're just going to trim this up with a knife, like so. I think I could do with a new blade. Right, that's the solar panel fitted up on the roof. 2 cables go into the cable gland I've bought, through 2 stuffing glands which I've fitted, 2 20mm holes, bit of primer and sealed up. Cables come through the roof. I've cut the plugs off, used 2 30-amp connectors and joined the rest of the cable which will go to the charge controller. What we're going to do now is a little bit of silicone on the glands, and we're going to then put the roof back up. Well folks, I'm going to call it a day now, but progress for today is the middle section of the roof up and the cables in for the 2 spotlights at the front. Cables are in for the sockets on the passenger side for the USB and the 12 volt. Solar panel is mounted on the roof. Cables that run through the gland, through 2 extra stuffing glands which I fitted, all sealed up, and tomorrow I'm going to stick the cable gland down on the roof and stick a weight on it, and while the glue goes off. So tomorrow I'll be a bit more insulation up on this part of the roof, as I've got the bubble wrap up there now, and that bit is complete. So recycled plastic will be going up, and then I'll be sticking a piece of ply up to cover that up, just to finish it off. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share, and we'll catch you on the next one.